Good morning. Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP, some liquidity, and the Sigma coin. So, all right, here we are. We've got ourselves our 3-day indicator, very likely to flip back to red here after this breakout and backtest that was then lost, setting a lower low. We would have to have a pretty extraordinary day today with in the next 12 hours, less than 12 hours, about 11 hours or so, to push this back up into the 195 region, maybe even 205 region, but otherwise we're going to probably head lower. So that being said, it could happen. There is a opportunity, but realistically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for at least a pullback up into this region to look to exit into strength, and then wait and watch until we get our green indicator back again, or we get a large capitulation breakdown that could take us into these lower levels aggressively and quickly. So we have supports here at $1.50 region, and there's even more supports down here at $1.12. So this wick down could be extremely violent and fast, and this indicator is telling us that that's getting ready to happen here. So for those who were following along, we had ourselves the entry at $1.84. Stop losses are important, right? So you could weather all this and say, yay, and then, oh no. So it's important to make sure those are in there. And that's why we use some of the 4-hour indicator in the Sigma community here. So here's the 4-hour indicator. And what we saw yesterday was that the indicator flipped red back up here at $1.87 above your cost basis of $1.84, where we had entered most of the positioning, which was a good indicator. Got you about 8 hours to get out of the positioning. And then we had this capitulation breakdown. So now that we've done that, though, we're starting to get this momentum kind of overdone again. And you can see that eventually it does flip back green again. So we do have a potential kind of rally that will come off of it. So let's say, hypothetically, we're here, and this is a similar region. And in fact, this would be a better one over here, because you can see we went up into this region and kind of move back down again. So into this little bounce area that we can see here, there's a potential for another capitulation that can occur. Well, we have a lot of inefficiencies in this price action. So when we zoom in, we can see that there's this guy right here, $1.87. So if we can get back up to and clear $1.87, I'd say we are on our way, and that was it. We capitulated, okay? But if we can't get back above this inefficiency breakdown that occurred here on this candle that just goes straight down with no reclaim of any kind, then this is likely to be a situation where you move back up into this region, can't get any higher than $1.87, flip that 3-day purple, and then that's kind of where we land and end up going. So $1.87 has liquidity. Look at that right there. So you can see where everybody on this candle stacked up their shorts right there at that level. They're all exposed here into it. So a move back up for a belief rally is probably likely to occur today. And then from there, we will have to see how price action plays, watch this 4-hour. But my suspicion is over the weekend, possibly into next week, they will pull this back up, give us some narratives over the weekend, and then we'll end up getting that final rollover as well. So now, pure invalidation. If this is the 5 waves for the final 5th, then we may be done. And this is the question mark, is can we get above 203.09? If we can get back above 203.09, we're in good shape. So the two scenarios that we have here are one count where we've already finished the 5 waves. Okay, so this is now done. Or the other count where we have to still go further down into those 5 waves. And so then this whole section here becomes a 5th wave, and then we can actually still end up seeing a larger capitulation that pulls us back down. So regardless, if this is done, we're moving back up. And if this is a wave 4, then we're moving back up. So in both scenarios, we're moving back up. We know we have an inefficiency at $1.87, which is above the $1.84 cost basis that we should have gotten in at. So if we can get back up to this $1.87, extremely important that you put your stop losses in place. Watch price action. They might wick down and close you, or you just take profits at $1.87, wait and watch, and you can always chase because the cost basis should be protected here. And with all of the price action and this indicator, you would basically have exited back up here at $1.34. You would have then started to look to accumulate through this section here, which ended up being a fake out with stop losses being used. Got back in right here, didn't take profits, that's okay, which is fine. You could do that on a portion of the bag or the whole thing, or you did take profits, great job. And then from here, we now need to protect this initial entry and try to get back out anywhere near $1.84 to then see if we're going to do a rollover. So very likely, though, that a rollover is happening. The indicator is probably going to give us that notice, and you can see that it does pull down pretty aggressively when that indicator can happen. So like, let's say this capitulation right here is an example. If we go back to this time period and we have a pullback back up again, so let's assume we're right here on this candle and it just turns red in 11 hours. We shoot back up on this candle right here, then we come down and then we come back up again, right? And then we come back up again and then we come down, come up again, and then we come back up and then we smack down, right? And here's that smackdown region. So it could take up to a week and a couple days for that to play out. So the candle prints, get out, exit, wait and watch, and then there's your scooping ability that you can do with a massive buy candle, and that could be the final reversal. So if we did get something along those lines, okay, and we did, let's say, get back up to $1.87 right here, or maybe even $1.92, let's just use that. I know we'll use the more conservative one. And we do end up smacking down to, let's go to $1.87. Let's just say we get down into this 155 region, right? There's your 17% bag increase for free. So we would avoid a breakdown of 45% with the indicator. Whoop. And then you would have tried to make sure you didn't get wrong-footed in this section, reaccumulated potential profit that you could have taken here, which would have been another 20% bag snipe if you had just trailed your stop upwards, right? So this was a total of 27%. And then, excuse me, now we got wrong-footed, and now we know that this is the fifth wave coming in. Will we hold it? And if we don't, then you can have yourself another opportunity to get anywhere between 15 to even, I mean, if we get down into some of these crazy levels like over here, there's 22%, and then there's 40% potential grabs if we can get down as low as 111, 110. Really freak everybody out, do a capitulation thing, war narratives, whatever the market's going to throw at everybody is looking like it's in the cards. So de-risking, watching behavior, highly important, and then we will, and preferably above $1.84. And then from there, we will wait and watch to see if we get that wick. If we don't and it starts to run, this flips back green, then you can start chasing, and we have our 4 hour to do it. So liquidity, we said, is already up above, giving us the opportunity to push back into the 190s. And Sigma Coin is kind of showing the same thing here, that it may be close to completion because, yet again, it's rolled over, completed another lower low. We thought we had the rising wedge. We lost it. So this has now become an ABC correction on what we were playing ultimately. So, you know, it's tough sometimes with hindsight. And so then you have an ABC correction, a breakdown, aggressive selling, capitulation moving in, pushing us down into that level, but giving you a great entry to get 160 million Sigma to gain access to the indicator through the Discord. So, all right, so Sigma's showing that we still got potential more, at least a relief bounce maybe, back up into this region. I would love to see it. And then we've got liquidity telling us that relief bounce is at least on the table. And then we've got invalidation levels. So we've got ourselves that if we can clear 203.09, we're not go. That's it. We did it. We're not. I mean, we could still chop, but we're probably done with the lows. If we cannot get above, you know, let's say $1.87, and we start rolling sideways or down, and the indicator flips red, then we know that we're looking at another rollover. So, all right. So we're in the zone. We have all that happening. We have not set, you know, that's basically the structure we want to see, is that we hold this level and break above. So that is our line, and we will all enjoy the journey together. So until tomorrow, thanks so much for watching.